That's scary, and thank you. That's really helpful to see how it works.
It
So,
should be
thank you.
affirmation, for sure.
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
just the truth that you bring to your work.
And this one.
Take some questions from the audience for Ava and David. We start right here.
What a way to show them. Sorry. But yes,
all right.
it's good.
It's all right.
It's good. A lot of hard work, a lot of feeling, a lot of intention and passion went into it. So, more to come from you, sir. All right. Who's the first question?
My name is Ricardo Hazel with the Shadow League, and my question is actually for David. Just watching you up there as Dr. King was just surreal. It was just amazing. I'm sitting here watching you become this man. I just wanted to know what sort of research did you do to pick up those subtle nuances from his the way he spoke and the way he carried himself, even your face, hairline. You just became Dr. King. I just wanted to know what sort of research you did.
The cost of the movement and the cost to him as an individual was my entry point to this. It cost them so much, and I felt the only way to do them service was for it to cost me a lot. So I was obsessive in my pursuit of the truth, and that being the truth behind, like Ava said, the phrase "I have a dream," behind the icon. Who was he as a man was my entry point. It served me hugely personally, being a Christian, because that of course was a big part of who he was, and that was central to his calling to do what he did. And the greatest attribute I think we as human beings have is love, and to me love is sacrifice, and he demonstrated that better than most. So, of course there were basic actorly things, the research and all of that, but more important for me was being spiritually available to what it means to sacrifice a life you might have had with your family, with your wife, knowing every day you left the front door that it may be your last because of the amount of hate that was out there for you, and deliberately every day choosing to not have anything be about the self. Lyndon Johnson wanted King to be a politician because, for obvious reasons, and he felt he wouldn't be able to do what he did if there was anything about it that was self-seeking. They lived very frugal lives, for that reason. So all of that to say, my entry point was the cost, and I basically wanted every day to feel like I had done everything I could to pay him and them tribute.
Right over there.
Hi. Amazing scene. That's rough. I can't wait to see when it's done. I'm also a filmmaker, and I saw Middle of Nowhere, I'm on the MAV mailing list, so I got it.
Yeah.
It's, you guys mentioned before about minding the emotions. I was curious, maybe you both can touch on this. How do you, like, what do you actually do, like, to get the actors invested in these moments, like when he's, you know, confronting the people from Selma and also with at the courthouse? Like, what do you do? I'm sure every actor is different, but I'd be curious to see some behind the scenes on you as a director.
Yeah, every actor is different, and you have to select good actors, because if you select good actors, you don't have to get them invested in the moment. They come invested in the moment. That's what you're looking for. Are people that are coming emotionally available and in tune with the material, with an incredible work ethic, who are going to, you know, have the chops, but also have, you know, for me, it's a lot about personality and who I can work with and who can work with me. I try to cast people who I want to love. I want in my life after we wrap. And I don't say that in the audition, I want to love you. That can be awkward. But I am looking for that. You know, it's more, it's not just the chops, because there's a lot of people out there that have chops, and a lot of people who can act well. But, you know, you're getting into bed with this person for quite a long time, you know, and you're going to be, you know, kind of, you know, wrestling with this material, or you're going to be, you know, flying together with the material. And, you know, life's too short to be arguing with somebody on set over some words on a page, you know, and it becomes, you know, just beautiful, elongated experience of joy if it's not that fight, if it's, you know, two artists really coming together around it. So it's really, I always tell just my fellow filmmakers, it's about the choice of who you work with. And so often we get caught up in the name game or who's going to fit. When I've done that, I've failed and I've struggled. When I've chosen people or invited people to come into the film who I think I can love and who I think will love the process, you know, then you get good stuff. So you just really got to listen to that. Like, I love all those people. I love them. So yeah, that would be my first thing. Pick wisely, choose wisely.
Thank you.
Yeah. Right there in, oh, sorry.
Smokey.
Sorry.
Hey Ava,
Hi, Smokey.
how are you? First, congratulations. I mean, this is, your beautiful aesthetic was on this screen, and we only saw 5 minutes, so, I mean, the kind of quiet passion and quiet urgency of your work, I think we all saw it, so thank you for that. I'm looking forward to the rest of it, and David, to you, sir, obviously your talent is extraordinary. You moved this room in 5 minutes, you moved yourself, I'm moved, so we're in for a treat. My question is about how must it have felt making this film, and probably closer to the end or the post-production process of making this film, to see what was going on in real life in Ferguson and in our country. I mean, obviously, there's never a wrong time to make a movie about civil rights, certainly for a story that has not been told in the way that needs to be told. But what did it feel like to see those images on real-life TV of marchers and protesters and all our young people when you had so many beautiful portraits of those folks back then on your average screen?
Yeah, really emotional. I mean, we talked about it quite a bit as it was happening. I was in the editing room watching, thanks for the question and the compliment, watching it go down, and the specs of what happened are so exact. Young brother shot. In this film, you'll see something similar happens, right? Young brother shot. It ain't right. Everything around it is foul. We know what's going on with the shooting. People mobilize around it, are trying to, you know, change laws, change legislation, change the way that things are. And there's like a critical mass of attention on this thing. There's scenes of troopers saying, "This march will not continue. You are agitating." Same exact thing happened. I mean, when the man over the bullhorn in Ferguson said the exact same thing that the dude in 1965 actually said, I was like, word? There must be a book somewhere. It's almost the same words. The difference is that in 1965 there was leadership and organization. You know what I mean? There was leadership and organization, and yes, you know, there was local leadership, but there was also, you know, several groups. It wasn't just SLC. It was SNCC. It was CORE. There were organizations. Panthers, at the time of our movie, Panthers hadn't quite mobilized, but there were groups that people looked to, and leaders in thought, and progressive people that people looked to, and followed, and took action around. And we don't have it in a mass way. I see a group like Dream Defenders. It gets me really excited. I don't know if you all know about Dream Defenders. Yeah. But I mean, not enough. I mean, not enough of these like nationally galvanizing voices that can really rally a large number of people around a cause. And so what I think is valuable about Selma is it reminds us that it happened, it worked, and it's possible. You know, because this happened, everyone in this room can vote. Do you understand that it would not have occurred? You know what I mean? Like some of the things that I just take for granted, the film deconstructs how they actually came to be. And they came to be because black people and white folks and all kinds of people actually followed somebody and actually did one thing and took a point of action. So, you know, with Ferguson, I'm watching it happen, and I just like the only difference is his leadership and organization. It really kind of enlarges the idea of what he was, not who he was, what he was and what he stands for, you know, especially in the black community. And also just American consciousness and public life in general. I mean, you know, so many people, white folks who were King followers, you know, giving money, giving time, marching as well. It's interesting. It's something that's been homogenized and we've forgotten. So I'm interested to see what kind of conversations this sparks, especially in light of the country just having gone through Ferguson and thinking that that's brand new. You know what I mean? Like people are like, this is fascinating. It's like words. It happens every 10 years, you know? So we'll see. Hopefully it sparks something.